Last week, something super random happened. Vanessa was live on FaceTime when it happened, and it really made me ask myself questions about human beings themselves and the society that we are living in. Before I go into what exactly happened, though, first of all, welcome back to Daniel Bamda. Thank you so much for watching today. If it's the first time that you are watching this, last week something crazy happened, super random. Vanessa was live on FaceTime when that happened, and it made me ask myself some questions about human beings themselves, but also the society that we are living in. But before I go into depth and share with you what exactly happened, quickly reintroduce myself. My name is Daniel Bamdat. You are watching Daniel Bamdat. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, thank you so much for watching. If it's the second or third time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking this time because I know how valuable your time is. In this YouTube channel or on my YouTube channel, I basically just talk with you and talk with myself about life, about the human experience, and also link it to why I believe we have to redefine our most authentic self. Today is a perfect example, though, why I do not want this to be like I'm a coach thing, I'm teaching you something, because specifically today's episode is going to show you that it's really just about philosophizing about life, right? And to ask myself questions and ask you out there to maybe help me answering this question. And so before we get into it though, this is my Pomodoro. I really respect your time and appreciate your time watching this today. And so I always have this Pomodoro that I set on 10 minutes so I get to the point in time and don't waste your time. And so I'll switch this on right away. Ta-da, 10 minutes. And so here we go. Now, what happened last week that really was just random, crazy, and also made me just question a lot of things about society and human beings, but also my journey of creating the life that I want to create for my family and myself. And so, for work, for business, I was in Vienna last week, and it was quite funny. I went to have dinner and then went to get an ice cream because it was hot, it's summer. It's in the evening, maybe like 8:30 in the evening, and I had Vanessa on FaceTime with the earpod in one ear. And so she was there the whole time when this happened. So I line up, I get my ice cream, and I felt like really treating myself. So I got three different flavors, which usually I never really do. It's quite intense, right? You have like three ice scoops on top of each other. So I have this gigantic ice in front of me, ice cream. And I said to Vanessa on FaceTime, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take in the city for a moment. So I'm not going to take my ice and my gelato and start walking. I'm just going to stand here on the corner, talk to her, but also take in the energy from the city. And so as I start eating my ice cream and speaking with Vanessa, I see these two, I would say maybe 16-year-old girls walking up to me. And I'm on the phone. I have one ear pod in, which already is like weird for me because usually everything needs to be balanced. So if I have one in, it kind of feels weird. I also have this big eyes. So I'm like not really realizing they're walking to me, even though I am realizing they're walking to me. And then she says, "Excuse me, aren't you the guy from TikTok, from the TikTok video?" And shows me that video. And she says, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I look and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. But please wait for it, because it's not what you think. It's not my TikTok videos that I create, right? So I'm like, yeah, absolutely sure. You can take a photo with me. You know, me and my dad style there with like 3 scoops of ice cream. I'm like smiling next to this girl that is on vacation, I guess, in Vienna. And it was just super funny because Vanessa is in the ear the whole time, like hearing all of this. And so I take the photo, and the girl then leaves with her friend, and it in the moment it was really funny, and I started to think so much about the irony of life sometimes. And so I will explain you exactly what it is. The video that she talked about is a video that has been going around for the last, I actually don't know, to be honest. Oh, we've been here for over a year. This video has been going around for a year and a half, maybe even close to like 2 years now, definitely a year and a half. And it shows me, so basically this is from the time that I was working on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. And I guess it was this guy that has a really big YouTube channel. I didn't know the guy, I didn't know the situation. Anyways, I was on lunch break. He films, I guess, from outside of stores to kind of teach people their rights, right? So usually then people come and say, you cannot film here, but technically he's on the street. So technically he can film, he can just not film inside of stores. And so this is how he kind of tests people to know their rights, but also how they handle the situations and so on and so forth. So I come back from lunch, and the ladies in the store, they're trying to handle it and stuff. And so for me, with the things that I learned over the last couple of years on how to handle myself, I just walk up to him and I say, hey, what are you doing? What are you filming for and stuff? And so I start to talk to him, and he says, well, they're telling me I cannot film here. And I'm like, no, you can film. You cannot film in the store, but of course on the street, you are free to do whatever you want. And so this kind of diffused the situation. And then I saw this video popping up. It was uploaded on YouTube, and then afterwards it made its rounds on TikTok and on Instagram, because someone then cut it up, calling it like a Karen lost her things. Let me tell you something. The way that they cut it, this is my assistant store director at that time. She is an amazing human being. And to be honest with you, it was moved in a way that was not really accurate. However, it made me look really good there, because I was just handling the situation the way that I today handle situations. But I guess it really pushed a button in society. What was so funny about this though, and this is where I'm getting to, is since 3 years, even before Conan was born, but definitely since 3 years, I've been putting so much work into creating quotes, creating videos, creating things to like really help people and serve people and make them see me, for how I want to be seen today, to be very honest. And then I realized this one video that isn't even mine, and it was just from some random Karen loses her things, or loses her mind, whatever. I got more traction and more interaction than anything I've ever done, right? And so, of course, at first it feels ironic. And then I thought about it more, and it made me realize that why I got this positive feedback though, and why I got this movement, is because ultimately it was me being there handling the situation without knowing that I was being filmed for something, right? To be honest with you, you couldn't really see if he was filming or if he just had the camera there to kind of provoke the situation. But for me, I was just being myself. And it made me realize that this is usually the trickiest part, right? The trickiest part is, how do you manage to just be you, but be you in, a refined version, which I talk about when I say you have to redefine your most authentic self, because authenticity is refinement. And in that situation, you didn't see me just being me. You saw me in my refined self, how I handled the situation, because 5 years ago, I would have handled the situation very differently. So it made me realize that this is usually what the trickiest part is, right? It's like finding a way to transmit this to other people. And usually, if you're in a situation like myself, where right now this is a one-man show, I cannot get any cameramans, I cannot get any people just following me how it is in documentaries, which, side note, this is usually why when you like an artist and you watch their Netflix documentary or something, why it also catches you is because at one point the camera is just there, people don't realize, and you start to really see their true self. And it does something to the human being. I truly believe this is also why, for example, when Vanessa watches reality TV like Love is Blind or something, and I'm like, man, what are you watching there? And 5 minutes later, I'm kind of stuck on it, is because we want to see the real human being, right? We want to see the real human being. And this is what I took from it. What I took from it is, yeah, in the first stage, how it always is, right? You need to listen to the voice in your head. In the first stage, I was like, man, I was frustrated, you know, and I guess frustrated, because I was like, man, I put so much work and I'm really trying to, you know, create something and make people see the value in it. And then something like this happens and it gets more attention than anything I've ever done. And at first it felt like, what am I doing all this for? And at second, I realized, well, Daniel, you just proved to yourself and to others that you're actually living what you're trying to share with others. And so this is what I'm going to try and do moving forward continuously, is to just really be who I am. Not in the sense that, you know, authenticity, that outdated media label that is like, just be you, because honestly, it doesn't work like that. You need to redefine your most authentic self, because authenticity is refinement. But you'll find out more about that in my book that is coming this fall. But ultimately, this is what I'm here to do. And so I hope that this makes sense, and I hope that it teaches you something about why it is so important to, no matter what you do. And now we're gonna hear the 10 minutes, so I'm gonna get to the point really quickly what that hopefully does for you today. So boom, here we go. What that means for you is basically that no matter if you work in a 9 to 5, no matter if you are trying to create a brand, a company, whatever it may be, it's about, you need to be able to have people see the real you, but the real you should be refined. You know, you cannot just be raw and like, whatever, because even the people that you admire for being their truest self, they've actually gone through a lot to become that version of their truest selves. But that is the message, I don't know, the thought process of today, which is, no matter what you do in life, find a way to really show the way that you are when you don't know anybody is watching. So I hope this helped. Somehow the 10 minutes went super quick today. If you like this, I would highly appreciate it if you share this with anybody in your surroundings that you think would enjoy watching this too. Please click the subscribe button. You can find me on social media at Daniel Bamdad. I would love to see some comments as well. Your thoughts, maybe other topics that you'd like me to talk about in the future. Other than that, I appreciate your time as always, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Much love.